Hello, this is Will, and I'm going to tell you how to record a PowerPoint. My email address is on there if you've got any questions. This is pretty straightforward, but if you want any help with it, then please do ask. I'm using Microsoft Office for Mac. I can't speak for how far this works on Windows computers, but I'm sure it's very similar, if not exactly the same. It's an easy process. PowerPoint is designed to do this, so we're not jerry-rigging anything. There's no Heath Robinson devices going on. It's just as simple as knowing which buttons to press. So let's get into it. All you need is a PowerPoint and a microphone. Most laptops come with a microphone now anyway, so all you need therefore is a laptop with a microphone and your PowerPoint. When you've got your PowerPoint open, it will look something like this, although hopefully with a little bit more stuff in it. What you need to do in order to record is click on Slideshow up here in the top, and that will give you a bar that looks a bit like this. And you can see that the final one of the little drawings on the toolbar is Record Slideshow. If you click on that, then it will take you straight into recording your slideshow. You'll be presented with presenter view, which you might know of if you don't. Here's what it looks like. It's nothing to be frightened of. It just gives you a whole load more information about your PowerPoint, which makes you even more in control. To explain what's going on here, as soon as you click record your PowerPoint, it'll start recording it. Recording your narration, recording your timings. But the information you've got on the screen, number one, there's your current slide. That's what the video output is showing at the moment, i.e. what your pupils can see. Number two, you've got the next slide coming up, so that means that you can look all swish as though you actually know what you're doing, when in fact it's just telling you what the next slide is. So for me, my next slide has got the fact that the next arrow is going to appear in a second, which says slide notes on it, like that. Hey. Look at how swish I am. And the slide notes part is underneath the main kind of PowerPoint editor where you're inserting all the text and everything. There's a little grayed out box where if you type notes in there, then they will appear here for you when you're giving your presentation. So if you don't want to have so much information on the screen, but you do want to explain something more in the narration that you're worried about forgetting, or if you want to write a script so you don't ad-lib something and sound like an idiot like I'm doing at the minute, then that's where you can put your slide notes. I tend not to use it, but it's easy enough to do anyway. There's some more information on here which is super useful. If you make a mistake and you think, I want to start that slide again and start recording that bit all over, just click on that little backwards arrow there. If you can feel a frog getting into your throat, or you can feel you need to take a sip of water or look something up, then the pause button is next to it. And if you think, I've been droning on for flipping ages, this is only meant to be a 5-minute video and I'm already 3 minutes 20 in, as I am now, then you can keep track of the total time there. You've also got, say you've got a meeting coming up in a bit, you've got the time of day next to it. So a whole load of information. The most important stuff is obviously the current slide and the next slide, just so you can stay on top of everything. Down along the bottom you can see all of your slides and you can see where you are in the PowerPoint. It'll tell you, so I can see now on my video I'm on slide 4, whereas in the presentation it's slide 1. Beyond that, if you want any more kind of ideas as to what it can do, just click on the tips up there in the top left hand corner. It's quite powerful. There's a lot you can do. You can do things like you can do rehearsals, you can get a laser pointer that appears on here, you can end the slideshow early, you can hide it, doing things out or out, etc, etc, etc. There's a whole load of stuff you can do with it. You don't need to bother with that if you don't want to, though. That's only if you feel like getting all nerdy and geeky with it. But either way, once you're done with your slideshow, just present it as if you were giving a lecture or you were giving a class. And when it's done, when you get to the end of your PowerPoint, you will get a dialog box that looks something like this. Total time for your slideshow was however long it will be, probably more than 4 seconds. Do you want to save the new slide timings? Yes, you do want to save the new slide timings, so just click on yes or hit enter or whatever. And then when you're ready to move on, you go to File, Export not save as, but export. And that'll get you the export box. And then you can see here under file format, you've got a whole load of different options. You can save it as a PDF, which is handy if you want to email it to pupils as a printout, or if you want to print it out. You can save it as a JPEG if you just want a single slide as an image. You can save it as a GIF if you want to use it as a meme for some reason. But the ones we're most interested in are MP4 and MOV, because those are both video formats. The difference between them is negligible. So I just picked MP4 for the sake of it's the first one of the videos. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but we chose MP4 here. Then you'll get a couple more options just to explain through these options. File format we've already done. Quality, you don't need to export it at presentation quality. That's only if you're taking it to a conference, say, and you're not going to be there, so you want to have the PowerPoint in your absence. But most computers, this Mac that I'm using, for example, the width is 1440, so that's way too big for this Mac. You can take the presentation quality down, certainly, and not really lose anything. The only thing that's important that is ticked is use recorded timings and narrations, because otherwise you're not going to get the narration for your video. So make sure that's all sorted. Click on export, and then you'll have your file. There's the export button there. And that's it. That's all you need to do. It's that simple. Then you can do with that whatever you want. You can upload it to the school system. You can put it on YouTube. You can email it to people if it's small enough. You can put it on a USB stick. Anything you want with it. So that's how to do it. A couple of ideas as to why you might want to do this. First of all, obviously distance learning. That's a very easy way to do PowerPoints over distance learning and make sure that you're explaining your points in full. This way, the way I tend to use PowerPoints is have as little information on the board as possible, because the old wall of text will just fatigue kids. And so if instead you can have a little bit of information on the PowerPoint, but you're narrating the rest, then that's just more engaging, more interesting. Kids are going to pay a bit more attention, less easy to get distracted. Secondly, and in with distance learning, you can cater a lot of pupils at once. It's a more efficient use of your time than trying to organise meetings with, say, so I teach 46 shells this year for my SINs, and instead of trying to organise meetings with them, this is an easier way of doing it, because all of them can watch a PowerPoint online, and they know how to do that really easily. So it's just a better way of catering for a lot of pupils at once than trying to give a PowerPoint over Teams over and over and over again. If a pupil is in Hong Kong, as we have quite a lot of pupils at King's, or if they're in Seattle, or it doesn't matter where they are in the world, they can access it, and they can access it when it's convenient for them. So you don't need to have somebody who's woken up at 5 a.m. to get onto a video call just to then fall asleep 5 minutes into a presentation you're doing over Skype or Teams or whatever. This way they can get to it when it's more convenient for them. And it's also a more efficient use of your time in general, because if you're giving this information once as a recording, then the pupils can use that recording as a lecture, and then your other time that you spend with your pupils can be more of a tutorial. And that way they can come to it with questions if they didn't understand something from the PowerPoint, or they needed more information on something, or if they're curious or whatever, then they can come to you in a scheduled time, and that's just a better use of time as a question and answers rather than just regurgitation over and over again. Because the whole point of video is regurgitation of information, and the whole point of calling is conversation. And so there's no point in having regurgitation over a conversation-based media. So a couple of reasons why you want to do it. You don't have to use your face here. There are ways of using your face on not on PowerPoint, but setting up a video so that you can use your face superimposed over the PowerPoint, which I've done once or twice, but you don't have to by any means. You just need a microphone. There's one thing to bear in mind when you record a PowerPoint, which is that it will save your recording in the file itself, which means that the next time you open the PowerPoint and present it, then your voice will automatically start playing. And the only reason I mention this is so that, say you use these PowerPoints once we're out of pandemic crisis and back into the classrooms, when you hit that present button, play from start, then your voice will start playing because it records it within it. So if you want to export the PowerPoint as a video and then delete all of the voice, then all you need to do is go back to record slideshow, but click the little arrow next to it, and then go down to clear, and then you can clear the recordings, you can clear the timings from one slide, from all the slides, and that's the idea. So that's how to record a PowerPoint. Hopefully that was clear, hopefully that was easy. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. You can see my email address on the screen now, wmrf@kings-school.co.uk. Leave a comment down in the comment section on YouTube, or let me know. Okay, happy PowerPointing.